So North Korea, we talked recently about how they did an ICBM test and it was successful, and they're trying to flex and be like, look at us, we're strong, we're powerful. Really, it's a defensive posture. Please don't topple us, please don't mess with us. See, we got weapons of mass destruction. Back off, back off. That's the gist of it. I'm sure all you guys know that. Again, we've talked about it a number of times. But I just found out they launched with this a really, really goofy propaganda ad. So let me play it for you. Now I'm gonna talk as we're watching it because for copyright reasons I can't play the music that goes with it. So I'll just explain to especially everybody who's just listening. I'll walk you through it. So the first thing you'll notice is he's wearing a leather jacket. He thinks he's cool. He's like the Fonzie dictator. He's got sunglasses on. I love how it's in slow motion. Huge missile behind him. He's got like his generals with him. They're showing the missile in like a dusty garage. He's looking at his watch. So is like his general. This is great. This is golden. Another long shot of looking at their watch. Dramatically taking off his sunglasses. Slow motion thumbs up. Oh, this is golden. I love this. I love this. They're taking out the gigantic missile. What's so great about this kind of stuff is that because they're not as immersed in Western culture, they have no idea what looks corny and what looks cheesy and what would look badass, and so they just go full corny, but they think it's badass. This is like 1989 Steven Seagal movie type stuff here. All right, so let's see them do the test launch. They got the missile ready to go. Very phallic. You got a very phallic look going on right now. They're screaming, launch it or whatever. And there it goes. It's up in the air. Now, this is supposed to be a missile that can, hit the U.S. It's more technological capability than people thought they had. Or they did a similar launch in 2017, but this is definitely, I think, their biggest to date. There's the missile. We got more phallic stuff going on here. One of the other things that you noticed, they're doing like a very pre-planned, excited celebration thing. One of the things you notice is they're not as good with the, and there you go, it's over. One of the things you'll notice is they're not as good with like the jump cuts and tightening everything. They don't know that people's attention span is that of a gnat. So they're like, they'll draw it out a little bit and they'll go slower. And, in Hollywood, they would have cut this bitch in half. It would have been, half that and it would have been more snappy. But, what can you say? They're trying to do their propaganda. We live in a movie. I mean, that's what this is, right? We live in a movie. That's what this feels like to me. You got this tin pot dictator, one of the poorest countries in the world, if not the poorest country in the world, trying to flex, and it reminds you of all the propaganda. Remember, they had the propaganda, Kim Jong-il, so Kim Jong-un's father, when he was dictator, they said, oh, he made 11 holes in one the first time he played golf. I mean, literally anybody who has ever played golf even once can tell you that is the fakest thing anybody's ever said. There has never been a more fake comment than that. There was another part of propaganda that it was either Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il never defecated. So he doesn't have to expel waste from his body because he's basically like a demigod type person. Now, by the way, I genuinely don't know how much of this is like Western propaganda where they say this is said inside North Korea and it isn't. I don't know. But when you watch a video like this that they released of their own volition, it's like you start to think maybe they really do push some of that propaganda on their population, but geez. Now, I want to calm everybody down. I don't think you're not calm at the moment, but just again to reiterate, dude, homeboy's not a threat to anybody but the people of North Korea, okay? And that's bad enough, and he's got the concentration camps and people eating rats and shit, all sorts of problems. Domestically, he's a menace. That's obvious. Authoritarian, totally locked down country. All that stuff is bad and condemnable. But in terms of a threat to others, this is him flexing, hoping that they're never going to make a move trying to topple him. That's effectively what it is, you know? And what worries me most is the tit-for-tat escalation. We covered the story the other day, but a North Korean ship drifted into South Korean waters, and South Korea fired a warning shot. What I'm afraid of is what happens if South Korea fires a warning shot at some point, and they interpret that as it's not a warning shot. They think it's an attack on them, and then they launch, and then... So that's the thing. You always got to worry about the tit-for-tat escalation and miscommunication and fog of war stuff, and that's what scares me the most. But in terms of the hilarious propaganda video we got here, this stuff is golden. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.